Next up, you want to master Linux. If you're not using Linux, then are you even a hacker? I mean, this has been the number one operating system for hackers for a very long time, and it's not changing anytime soon. And knowing Linux is an essential skill. You're going to learn it as you're doing your TryHackMe and Hack the Box. But if you're still a little fuzzy on like how the Linux operating system works, or you're just not too well versed in the command line, then it's okay to do a Linux course or a Linux certification. I did the CompTIA Linux Plus. That really helped me get the foundation of Linux into my brain. And then I became fluent with Linux after I used it every single day on TryHackMe. And you're going to build this skill up if you're on TryHackMe all the time. So, um, this one really, you don't have to pay attention to too much because, like I said, you're just going to naturally learn it as you're doing TryHackMe and Hack the Box. Set number 8, intermediate certifications. So, now it's time to start getting hands-on and start getting like pen test specific certification. Now, Pen Test Plus, CompTIA Pen Test Plus is a pen test specific certification, but it's not hands-on. And you really want hands-on certifications because pen testing is very technical. It's very hands-on. It's not a theoretical thing. So, intermediate certifications, I will start with a junior pen testing certification. So, those being the EJPT, that's the it used to be e-learn security junior penetration tester, but INE bottom out, so it's now the INE security junior penetration tester. You have the PJPT, that's the practical junior pen tester from TCM Security. You have the new PT1 certification, that's pen testing level 1, I think, from TryHackMe. And then there's the PWPA, which is the practical web pen test associate. So that's a web app entry level pen test from TCM Security. I would choose one of those, and once you get one of those, you need to graduate and move on to a even harder certification. Dare I say it's so those are like the junior certs, and I would say the OSCP, the PMPT, and the CPTS are more intermediate level. OSCP, that's the OffSec certified professional. PMPT is the practical network penetration tester from TCM Security, and then the CPTS is the certified pen testing specialist from Hack the Box. Each of these certifications have their pros and cons. In a nutshell, OSCP, most in-demand pen testing cert on the market, most industry recognized. It is the most expensive one, and it is incredibly challenging. Um, PMPT also challenging, but I don't have the certification, but I'm taking it next time. This time next week, I'll be taking the certification, and I have a hunch it's going to be a little bit easier than OSCP. But from what I can see, the PMPT, I haven't done an exam. I've done all the training now. It's more realistic, but it's going to be, I think, a little bit easier in terms of difficulty, and the price is the most affordable out of these three here. CPTS, I don't have this one either, but it is on my radar. I'm actually going to be doing it after the PMPT, and this is how much I like certifications. I have a lot of them, and I still add to my resume because this is what really helps me out the most, and that's why I recommend getting multiple certifications. But the CBTS from Hack the Box, it's in the middle between the price point of PMPT and OCP. It is, from what I understand, harder than OSCP, but it's not as recognized as OSCP yet. It is a newer certification, and PMPT also suffers from that same problem. Not as industry recognized, and it's not as on many job postings. They are picking up in popularity, and I fully expect that PMPT and CPTS will be on the same level as OSCP in the future when it comes to industry recognition. But when it comes to step 8, just choose one junior cert, get it, move on to the next level, and then get one of those three: OSCP, PMPT, or CPTS, and then move on. And then when you move on, step number 9, it's time to apply for pen testing jobs. So if you get one of those intermediate certifications, you're going to start feeling very confident in your abilities and skills, because those certifications that I just mentioned, they require a professional report, and it's very technical and very hands-on, very difficult. So you're going to have a lot of confidence. And at this point, I believe you can start applying for pen testing jobs. Now, you're not guaranteed a job at this point. You are just on the low end of the totem pole when it comes to applying for these positions, because you got to keep in mind there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of people applying for these pen testing positions, and everyone has those certifications. There's a lot of people out there that have them. So don't get discouraged if you get rejected. But once you start applying for pen testing jobs, you need to really spend a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time, learning how to write a resume, learning how to write a cover letter, learn how to do interviews. Like, how do you dress? How do you speak? How do you sell yourself to a potential employer? And then continue networking on LinkedIn. And while you're job hunting, this is essential. You still need to level up your skills because, like I said, if you only have one certification, a lot of people have one certification. You need to make yourself stand out. So do some write ups, keep posting on LinkedIn, maybe make some content and get more certifications, do more hack the box machines, and just keep leveling up because that's not the end. Getting one of these certifications is not the end. So keep leveling up. And then step 10, this is assuming that you've already broken the field, but if you're still looking for a job at this point, it still applies. But once you get in the field and you start your pen testing job, you need to you need to choose a specialization. Or you need to continue leveling up your skills. So there's different paths that you can take. You can go web app pen testing, network pen testing. I don't have it listed on the slides, but you can also get into mobile testing, IoT testing. There's different specializations out there. And there's two different routes you can go. You can become a generalist, which you can be a jack of all trades. You can be pretty good at all of them, or at least um, a handful of them, or you can really double down, triple down, quadruple down on one thing. For me, I like to focus on network testing and web app testing. Some people, they are strictly network testers. Some people are strictly web app testers. And by this time, you don't need to make a determination like, oh, I'm going to be a web app tester, I'm going to be a network tester. You don't really need to make that decision until you get to around step 9. But you're going to figure out what you like and what you dislike, and your world's your oyster. You can go anywhere you want from there. But for web app pen testing, certifications that I recommend are the OSWA. I have that one. That's the OffSec Web Assessor. PWPA also have that one. That's one of the junior ones. That will help. That's a good entry level to web app pen testing. The PWPP, that's the Practical Web Pen Tester Professional from TCM Security. That's the next level up from PWPA. And then you have the CBBH, that's the Certified Bug Bounty Hunter from Hack the Box. And for the network side, we already talked about the OSCP, CPTS, and PMPT, and those I would consider the main 3 network pen testing certs. And then if you want to get into red teaming, the CRTO is a good first stop. That's the Certified Red Team Operator, I believe. And then for advanced certs, so you can take your pen testing to the next level. You can go with OSEP, that's the OffSec Experienced Professional, OSED, that's the OffSec Exploit Developer, the OSWE, that's the OffSec Web Expert, web app stuff. And then CAPE, that's the Certified Active Directory Pen Test Expert from Hack the Box. And then there's a CWEE, that's the Certified Web Exploit Expert, I think, from Hack the Box. And then the PWP, which is the Practical Web Pen Test Expert from TCM Security. So anytime you get one of those E's, then you're a true expert in the field, I would say. And that those are certifications that I don't have that I'm striving to get in my career. So definitely worth pursuing once you break into the field because you always want to keep leveling up.